Elon Musk has been fascinated with computers and engineering from a young age. In fact, he sold his first piece of computer coding at the age of just 12. Growing up in South Africa, his parents divorced when he was just a kid, and he was frequently bullied in school. But if living well is the best revenge, Elon sure got his, becoming a multi-millionaire before his 30th birthday, and is now one of the richest men in the world. So for those of you who are just starting to follow Elon, or if you just wanted to know more about his lavish lifestyle, potential celebrity hookups, mansions, and the intimate details about his rise to fame, well, here we go. Elon Reeve Musk was born on June 28, 1971 in Pretoria, South Africa. His ancestry is predominantly British, but some of his ancestors were Amish, and his grandfather was from the Midwest. His mother, May, was a model and dietitian from Canada, while his father, Errol, was an electromechanical engineer. Elon grew up with two older siblings, a sister, Tosca, and a brother, Kimball. Elon was a voracious reader and a huge fan of comic books. After his parents' divorce in 1980, his primary caregiver was his father, and at this time, Elon began developing an interest in computers. He taught himself programming with a Commodore VIC-20. When he was just 12 years old, he wrote a code for a video game he called Blastar and sold it to the magazine called PC and Office Technology. On the downside, his interest in computers didn't make him popular amongst his peers, and he would be relentlessly bullied. One time, a group of bullies threw him down a flight of stairs and beat him unconscious. This landed him in the hospital. Elon attended Waterkloof House Preparatory School before moving on to Pretoria Boys High School. Just before his 18th birthday, he moved to Canada, having gained citizenship through his mother, and there he studied at one of Canada's finest schools, Queen's University. Here, he met Justine Wilson, who would go on to become a successful author and Elon's first wife. After 2 years at Queen's, Elon transferred to the University of Pennsylvania. Here, his roommate was Adeo Ressi, who would eventually become a fixture of Silicon Valley. At 24 years old, Elon received an undergraduate degree in physics and another in economics from the Wharton School of Business. He then started working on his PhD at Stanford, studying applied physics, but just 2 days into his studies, he decided to drop out, instead focusing on creating new business enterprises. The first of many businesses was Zip2. He and his brother Kimball began the startup software company with $28,000 borrowed from Daddy. After just 4 years, the company was sold to Compaq for $307 million and $34 million in stock options. Elon's personal stake was about $22 million. Now a multi-millionaire, Elon moved on to his next venture, which would make him even richer. In 1999, he co-founded a website called X.com, which was a financial service website that lets you email money. With an initial investment of $10 million, Elon was able to merge the company after just a year, creating PayPal. In 2002, eBay bought the service for $1.5 billion, and Elon took home $165 million. While his career was going well, his personal life was facing tragedy. Around the time of the big eBay buyout, Elon's first son died at just 10 weeks old from sudden infant death syndrome. After receiving his money from the 2002 purchase of PayPal, Elon invested $100 million into SpaceX, a company focused on developing and manufacturing spacecrafts and rockets. Soon, it would be getting billion-dollar contracts from NASA and became the largest private producer of rocket motors in the world. The privatization of space was controversial, with astronauts like Neil Armstrong and Eugene Cernan criticizing Elon Musk and SpaceX. Regardless of the criticism, in 2008, the company launched the first privately funded liquid-fueled vehicle to put a satellite in orbit. In 2012, it became the first company to launch and berth a vehicle to the International Space Station, but by this time, Elon was more well known for his work with Tesla. In 2003, Tesla was incorporated by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. The following year, Elon invested in the company and became the chairman of its board. At first, he was intimately involved with product design, but did not deal with the day-to-day business operations of the company. With the help of a little in vitro fertilization, Justine gave birth to a set of twins in 2004, Xavier and Griffin. The next year, he began to emerge as a recognizable public figure, getting a small cameo in the movie Thank You for Smoking. In 2006, Elon started SolarCity, which is now the second largest provider of solar power systems in the US. Also in 2006, Elon and Justine welcomed a set of triplets into the world, Damien, Saxon, and Kay. When the 2008 financial crisis struck 2 years later, Elon became the CEO of Tesla. The company quickly gained widespread attention that year for the Tesla Roadster, the world's first electric sports car. But at home, things weren't going so well. Elon and his wife separated, and he began dating English actress Tallulah Riley. In 2010, the couple married. The same year, he appeared in Iron Man 2, hanging out with Tony Stark. He would later appear in several episodes of South Park. He made other appearances as himself in the rom-com Why Him, on The Simpsons, and on The Big Bang Theory. In 2012, Elon and Tallulah broke up, but the breakup apparently didn't take, as they got remarried in 2013. But the marriage also didn't go well, and he filed for divorce the next year. And you'd think it would end there, but he canceled his request for a divorce shortly after filing, and the two would stay together for another 3 years. In the end, the couple would go their separate ways as he found love with Canadian singer-songwriter Grimes. And he didn't have to worry about hiding her from his ex-wife, as Elon has plenty of properties he can call home. After announcing he was moving to Texas, he sold his largest Bel Air home for $29 million, a second property, and then the 4 remaining in the area in a massive single deal for over $60 million. His girlfriend and baby mama Grimes was apparently mad that he was unloading all this real estate while their baby son was on their way. The largest of Elon's homes sold for over $29 million to a Chinese tech billionaire in an all-cash deal. This 16,251 square foot estate also served as his main residence for the last while, and boasted 7 bedrooms and 11 baths throughout. He bought the estate back in 2012, and as you'd expect, it's protected by walls, a gate, and state-of-the-art security, and we can see the property is chock full of lush and landscaped gardens, as well as a swimming pool and spa, dining patios, and more. The multi-level mansion sits on 1.7 acres of land, offering up views of the Bel Air Country Club, Pacific Ocean, and even Catalina Island. The home was modeled after a French country estate, and there were rooms for Elon to hang out and play video games with his kids, which is what he loves to do in his spare time. There was also a massive home movie theater. The living room boasted a couch with a mink throw, and elsewhere there was a high-class kitchen with 2-story library. Elon always makes sure he's in shape, so he did that in his home gym, and the mansion also has a large entertainment center, wine cellar, and more. Along with this mega mansion, Elon went on to buying neighboring real estate, creating a compound of sorts in Bel Air, which he sold more recently. In October 2020, Elon sold his second property, the former Gene Wilder house, to Wilder's nephew. Now, records show the 4 remaining Musk properties sold in a nearly $62 million single deal bought by a local developer. Elon first put the 4 properties up for sale as a package estate with a $62.5 million price tag, but they're really not a flowing estate at all. Only 2 of the homes are actually next to one another, and all 4 structures have completely different architecture style. One of the homes is an ultra-contemporary mansion, and the one next door is a neoclassical colonial house. Then across the street, there's a traditional bungalow, quite humble in size, and the home on the hillside below was built in 1954 as a mid-century modernist ranch, but has since been redone. Now that spot is a sprawling mansion, best described as 90s modern with a mid-century twist. Elon bought these properties in 4 different transactions from separate sellers between 2015 and 2019 for a total of $55 million. Furthermore, he spent a ton of money, well into the millions, in renovations, especially on finishing that largest home. With plans to relocate to Texas and take the Tesla empire with him, I think it's safe to say he's set for life. Thanks for checking out this video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel and leave a comment for who you'd like us to make a video on next.